what were you doing 12 years ago today? See, for me, I was 8 years old. I think maybe I was in second grade at the time, and I was a big Cubs fan. I would race home from school, listen or watch to the last couple of innings of the game. I saw that team win 97 games. I saw that team get to the postseason, only to be swept by the steroid-infused Manny Ramirez and the Dodgers. Nevertheless, it was a memorable year if you were a Cubs fan. And if you were a Sox fan, the same could be said. The Sox that year made the postseason. They had Jim Thome, Paul Konerko, the greats of that team. And they actually won a playoff game. They might have lost to the Rays, but they played that series competitively, and they did win a game. They were proudly the only team in Chicago to actually win a playoff game that year. Now, why do I bring up 2008? That's because this year, 2020, for the first time since 2008, it's been 12 years, both Chicago baseball franchises are on track to make the postseason, which is miraculous in its own right. And we're not talking about pandemic-era baseball. We're not talking about the 16-team playoff. If this year was normal, believe it or not, both teams would still get in. That's how good they are right now. Now, the Cubs have been on a bit of a downturn. They picked it up the other day with their historic home run hitting. And I want to start with them first. I am extremely concerned about their pitching. And not just their starting pitching, all aspects of their pitching. If they believe truly that they are a World Series contender, I don't buy it, but some people do. They do. They need to shore that up. You can't have one good starting pitcher this late in the season. Yu Darvish is the only guy, believe it or not, it's Yu Darvish. He's the only guy producing for this team right now. And I'll admit it, I was wrong on him. I said that signing was not worth it. This is the first year he's truly lived up to that contract and proved his worth. I would argue he's a Cy Young contender. 6-1 record, 1.47 ERA. He is the legitimate ace of this staff. But behind him, there is absolutely nothing. There's nothing there. Kyle Hendricks has struggled. Alec Mills, who I had no faith in to begin with, has struggled. John Lester is old. And Tyler Chatwood, after a couple of good starts to begin the year, has been just horrible on the mound. ERA over 5. Now he's hurt again. Now he'll be out. And Quintana, I'm sure, will come in and pick up the pace. But the point is, this rotation is not solid. There's nothing to it. It's like a BLT sandwich without the B and the T. There's just lettuce there. And you're not going to go far in a pennant race. You're not going to win a playoff game if you have only one starting pitcher capable of getting the job done. Tell me I'm wrong. Comment here and let me know. There's no one I can think of who can legitimately come in after Darvish and get things done, who could be a Game 2 or Game 3 starter. No one's proved it right now. And the bullpen's another issue. Craig Kimbrell, I have no clue what's going on with him. ERA over 10. 8 innings. 12 walks in 8 innings. And I thought Chatwood had a problem with walks. This one takes the cake. You know, I was taught at a young age when I used to pitch, the one thing you want to do is come out of the bullpen ready to go. That's why you warm up. You want to be ready in the bullpen so when you come in the game, you throw strikes right away and don't walk anybody. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on for Kimbrell. I don't know if he's ready. I don't know if it's a mental thing. But what I do know is he's not producing. The Cubs paid $30+ million for him and he's not producing. I've heard some say they saw the signs back in Boston. Maybe yes. But he still got the job done. I'm okay with a closer having a high ERA if you don't blow games and saves. Kimbrel's done both. High ERA, walks everybody, he's blown games, he's blown saves. If the Cubs could do it, they should send him down. If you can't succeed on a major league level, if you can't throw a strike at the major league level, there needs to be a serious conversation about where you stand on the team. That talk hasn't come yet. It should have a long time ago. It should have come last year. And now this year, there's still nothing to be said. Jeremy Jeffress has picked it up. Minor league signing. We've touted that a number of times on this show. It does go to show you how unpredictable the relief pitcher free agent market is. Although if you know who Jeremy Jeffress is, and you know his track record, it's not extremely surprising. He made an all-star team 2 years ago. Last year, he fell off a bit, and now he's picking it back up. He served as a closer for Milwaukee a couple of years ago and did great. He broke into this league as a relief guy for the Brewers and Royals and also performed well considering. He's always been a solid arm. Now he gets to show it off in a top market. And more people are taking notice of it. But this Cubs team, if they want any chance at moving further than the first round or getting into the playoffs even, they need to figure out the starting rotation. They need to figure out the bullpen. The hitting's actually been okay. It's come around a bit. Would I like to see more guys hitting 300? Yes, I'm an old school guy. Not one player in the Cubs starting lineup is hitting 300. But you know what? They find a way to get it done. We all know what kind of team this is. It's a home run or bust team. When they hit home runs, like they did against the Reds the other day, 10-1 win, they're going to win games. When they don't, they need their pitching to fall back on. But when you have no pitching to fall back on, there's an issue. The Cubs right now are 20-14. That record to me and to you should be a bit scary. They started off hotter than where they are today. The issues that I said would be a problem way back in July have now come to light. We see the starting pitching collapsing. We see the relief pitching having issues. We've seen the hitting be off and on all year. If the Cubs can click on all cylinders and play consistently, they'd be a good team. But until then, whenever that day may be, they're always going to live in fear of another collapse. And for those who said last year was Joe Maddon's fault, look at where they are this year. This is not a managerial issue. This is a front office issue. They've made some good signings, yes, but they haven't made all good signings. And that's going to come back to hurt the Cubs here as the year moves forward. As for the White Sox, they have been the most pleasant surprise in baseball. Tell me I'm wrong. They have so much young talent. I said it before, this reminds me of the 2015 Cubs. The year before, in 2014, the Cubs were under 500 all year. I believe their record was 72-90. The next year, no one really knows what to expect. Pacoda had them at 79-80 wins, and they come out and win 97 games and go to the NLCS, then win the World Series the next year. The Sox are on the same path. Trust me when I say that. Their talent, their skill set is off the charts. Tim Kirkchin was on this show last week. He had a GM tell him, this is the most dangerous lineup in baseball. This is the lineup that I would want if I were in charge. Jose Abreu is building an MVP case. Tim Anderson, to an extent, is building an MVP case. Eloy Jimenez is hitting, not fielding, but hitting, and Luis Robert is not a bust. All's well that ends well on the South Side. And pitching-wise, and I don't understand this, everyone's talked about their starting pitching issues. And maybe the back end of the rotation needs some work, but 1 through 3 is as solid as they come. Giolito, Keuchel, Cease. The highest ERA of those 3 is 3.09. That's Giolito, who just threw a no-hitter. Those 3 guys in a playoff series, I would trust 100% of the time. Now, Gio Gonzalez is hurt, 5 ERA. Reynaldo Lopez was hurt, 9 ERA. I get it. The back end of the rotation is a bit fishy. But 1 through 3 is solid. That's what you need come playoff time. Much different than the Cubs situation. Cubs have 1 guy. That's it. Sox have 3 right now who can compete and can succeed in any situation. Cease, by the way, former Cub. The guy they got rid of as part of the Jimenez trade, look what he's doing now. Look at that. The team cannot raise homegrown pitchers. They had one. They let him get away. Look what he's doing now at the White Sox. 4-2 record, 3 ERA. A pitch-to-contact guy, 36 innings pitched, 27 strikeouts. It's working. And their bullpen is as solid as they come. Colomé, the closer, has an ERA under 1, 6 saves. Foster, 1.20, setup guy. Evan Marshall, 2.51, setup guy. That's what you need. This team is for real. I don't understand why people go after the White Sox. They say, oh, there's an issue here and here and here. Tell me what I'm missing. Besides a 4 or 5 starter, this team is solid. And the only thing that will hurt them in the future is inexperience. That's what may derail a World Series run this year. And you can't do anything about that. It would actually be more beneficial if they lost this year, if they went to the ALCS and got knocked out. That would be more beneficial for their future success. Believe it or not. So this is an update. We're getting near the end here in September in playoff time. And as I said, and I firmly believe this, both teams will make it. Both teams are talented enough to get in. But one team's going up, and the other one's going down. And I don't think you need me to tell you which is which. The Sox have successfully completed their rebuild. They were the Cubs 5 years ago. They are the Cubs today. The Cubs right now, they need to really reevaluate where they are as an organization. And again, I know they're 20-14. They're near the top of the Central. I get it. But there are some serious question marks and some very scary holes if you're on the outside looking in at this team. Changes will come. They need to be made. It's only a matter of time. But right now, both teams are okay. They are on track for a postseason appearance. And if you're a Chicago sports fan, that's all you can ask for. But just remember, one team is going up. One team is closer to a World Series than you think, and the other one is much closer to a rebuild. More to come here on Sports Talk Chicago. My interview with Jon Zaghloul comes up next, so stay tuned.